So that's a terrible way to start the video by laughing, but I just wanted to make it really clear that honestly, this is such a heavy topic. Sorry, I'm laughing out of a little bit of like nervous feelings, and this is this is a very vulnerable topic to speak about. I think it's incredibly important that at the end of the day, you know you are loved, not only by God, but also just that there are incredible people in life that you will meet. Like I mean that with my whole heart, that you are going to meet people who will treasure you, who are going to take care of you. And you're just going to be seen by people who like you are going to feel not seen for so long, but you are going to eventually meet people who make you feel seen. I wanted to start the video off with that. I also wanted to start the video off with just saying that I'm going to approach this in laughter and light because at the end of the day, it is my experience, and I'm allowed not to make jest of that for other people, but for my own experience, I think one of the best medicines in life is laughter. And you know what? Laughter and can really, it's helped me so much. I don't know why I'm saying this, but I just feel like I approach things with laughter. Know that I'll always try to be like serious and sensitive, but for others, this is my own experience I'm sharing. So I'll make light of it where I see fit. I think I'm adept enough to know what is off limit and what is not. So I wanted to start by just saying that, yeah, that was my whole spiel. I know it's kind of stupid because maybe it isn't that deep, but I just wanted to share my experience with like true conversion therapy. I was a part of a religious organization for a while. I don't really feel the need to name names. Maybe I will. Who cares? But this certain religious association I was with for a year, and I was doing schools and mission work with them. And at one point I went to see like the therapist that you can talk to on base while you're there. And obviously she didn't understand where I was coming from and my identity, like totally different places. And you know, therapists, people don't tell you this, but like your therapist can be bad. Not only can they be bad at their job, but also you have to kind of hunt around for the right one. So she was just she was not a good fit. Was not a good fit. And was saying some crazy stuff, like that I was like gonna go to hell, if I kept going the way I was going, which, you know, I don't think anyone needs to be like, you know, I get it. I totally get it. Yeah. And also that was just really hard. And she also then like reconfirmed me to some therapist, or like I don't even know if he was like a therapist or not, some sort of counselor who was based in the States. And I remember we first met because she was like, oh, you should definitely get connected with him, like he's gonna be so good for you. And I remember like our first meeting, I'm getting I'm getting a little nervous. Boyfriend, I'm nervous. But I remember our first meeting, and it was really strange. I just got back from the gym also, so I'm a little bit like scatterbrained. And I just got back from FK Twigs this weekend. So you know what? Just so you know, the conversion therapy didn't work. Thank you very much. By the way, they can't take me down. They're gonna have to work a lot more harder, baby, to take me down. Our first meeting, like, it was just such a weird vibe. He was like, it was totally like counselor stuff, like getting to know me. Then he goes down like this whole list of like, why being gay is not okay, blah, blah, blah. Totally normal for that being a part of the Christian community. Like, yeah, like I get it. Like that's the whole thing. But I'm like, obviously if I'm meeting with you, like, I don't want to be this way. I'm like, obviously, like, that's why I'm here meeting you, dog. Went down that list, was totally like lots of like just going through the list of why like it was like terrible, awful, no good thing. Talking about like how childhood trauma, all in that kind of vein, blah blah blah. And I was like, I kind of left the meeting and I had this like really bad feeling about it, which I mean, obviously trust your gut. And I also wanted to say, like, I still love God like a lot, and there are parts of my faith, like I still love praying. I'm not a perfect person. Like I'll always like, if this is the life I'm given, I'm going to work with it. Like, I'm always going to try and reflect Jesus. I'm not perfect, but I'll always try and share like God's love. There are a lot of parts that I'm like figuring out and wrestling with. At the end of the day, I still love God, and I'm not perfect. I never claim to be perfect. I'm a bad example. Anyways, our second meeting, we meet, and I remember it started to get into this really, it was like this really weird place where there was just like so much shame, like for me liking, like the attraction was such a shameful part of me, and that like it was like it wasn't even like, it was just like there was shame for me even like experiencing that attraction. Like it wasn't even just like, oh, like, you know, God loves you and like the attraction, that's a separate thing. It was just like, no, you are bad because you experienced that. And I know like my childhood wasn't perfect, but it certainly, like the most damage I incurred was usually like in my teenage years. I don't know. It's so complicated, guys, but it was just like so much shame brought on to me, and like shame that like I would do this to my family. Like, how could I do that? Like, it made me feel like immediately it was like, oh my gosh, it was like a sting. And it was like, you shouldn't have been like homeschooling. Homeschooling made you gay. That's like what he was saying. Like, I'm dead ass. He was like, homeschooling made you gay. Which, I mean, homeschooling, like, yeah, it's not great. But he was like, homeschooling is like the worst thing you can ever do for sexuality. And I was like, I really don't think I agree with that in like any way, shape, or form. It was just so strange. And like, I just so much shame. Just shame upon shame upon shame upon guilt. Like, really bad. And I like left the meeting, and that was like our second time meeting, and then I think we met like a third time after that, and I started to realize like something was really off, and we kept meeting. Like I then went on to go on a different like I went on a missions trip after that to Brazil. Anyways, that's a whole completely different story with all that stuff. But I remember at the end of the day, just like after all that had been done, I remember it left such a profound effect on my self-worth, and that, you know, regardless, we're like, just regardless of right or wrong, there's just no way, regardless, there's just no way that that is an acceptable way to talk to someone. And I just remember it was like so much fear that like what I had done was bad, that like I was gonna go to hell for even things that I had done in the past. And it immediately made me feel like I was just never gonna be seen or understood by anyone, because I kept being seen as like this monster, right, for this. And I just don't think that like that would ever be God's heart in any way, shape, or form, that I was just like such a disgusting beast for this. So crazy. And it's taken, like, I got back from that missionary organization, and it took such a long time of like healing and understanding myself to know that like that's just never that's not okay. That's crazy. That's a crazy thing to know. That's like not acceptable at all in any way, shape, or form. And I remember it came home, and it really started to get on this path of, it actually led me, I would say, more to dark thoughts and more like bad stuff, because at the end of the day, I just believed I was so unlovable. Like, I just believed to my very core that no one would ever choose me in their right mind, knowing what came with me. That why would I ever be accepted in a Christian community if that was like always going to be a disconnect for me? And I've already said like that, like I love God still, and I really love praying and stuff, but I just was like, it made me feel like, I was like, God, like, why would you ever choose me? Like, why would I ever be born with this kind of like nerf, born with this nerf, basically. And like, how's that fair to me? How that fair to me? What I doing? But no, I don't know if I have anything else to say. I guess that's my experience. I should leave with more hope. Sorry. It took months upon months of healing, and this year I feel like I really dialed it into being like, there's like, I'm like, I can't just like not be like I can't be so harsh on myself. Dude. But I'm just like, oh, like, I think the key is like, it's not to be like, like I don't know how to explain it, guys. I'm trying to think. I'm just accepted that like, that's the way things are, you know? Like, that's just it. That's the way things are gonna go. And like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. Like, I think it's been taken so much time to like figure out a reason to just be alive after so much of this, like that I haven't really given time or thought to like what I want to do with my future. And that's kind of sad because I know that I have so much like creative output I need to like put out into the world. Right now though, I'm just thinking that like this year I've really fallen in love, I think, with like life again and living. And um I'm just like so like I'm like you're like I sound so stupid. I'm like, you're not gonna take away my joy. Like, you're not. I refuse to let people steal my joy for life and live in shame forever. I do not think that's of God. Absolutely 100%. Like, I might be living, I guess, like a sinful life for the rest of my life, but I don't want to live in shame. Like, I want to take life by the throat. Sounds graphic, but I want to take life by the throat and live. Like, I don't want to live like I don't want to live a life where I'm just not like waking up with gratitude for the life. And I want to use like every creative tool in my body because I know that God created me for a purpose that only I can fulfill, you know? And again, I'm not perfect, but I want to live. Like, I've fallen in love with life again. And I feel like people around me have like maybe not understood that, and maybe people will never understand that, but I'm like, I know me personally, like I want to be so in love with life, God, that like I can keep on going. And it's gonna be like a lot more healing and understanding and just taking time for myself. But at the end of the day, like I'm not, I know it's bad in that I was maybe victimized, but I'm never gonna be a victim. Like I want to be a survivor. Oh, girl, shut your carny ass up. But I want to like low key, low curricularly, I want to be like a survivor of all the bad things that have happened in my life. Like, I don't want to ever be a victim. Like, I want to be known by the things that I strive to create and look forward to. Anyways, that's all I got. Maybe this video will just be stupid and I don't know. But anyways, I just want to share that. And anyways, again, you're not alone. Like, you are so not alone. I just hope that the person watching this knows that like you are so not alone. Like, I tricked myself into believing that like people would just hate me forever, and that's such a lie. It's such a lie. Like, you're not alone. And that sounds so like people say that all the time. I felt like people be like, I love you, like you're not alone, and that's just like a slogan, but like really you are not going to be alone forever. And I think I want to give people hope that they can stand and last like more time, because I feel like if I had come back and like not chosen to like push through, and it's not easy, it's never easy, right? That it's worth pushing through for. Just give it some thought that you're not alone and that it's worth pushing through for, and that life is not perfect, it's messy, and healing is messy, but that there's so much life to be lived that you can't not just give up. Food for thought. Anyways, I love you guys so much, and I'm just so happy to be posting. Like, I know it's only like a few subscribers, but like honestly, like this is my dream. Like this is my dream. Like, this is what I want to do. Like, when people ask me what I do, I want to say like being a content creator, but I'm scared. I'm scared to say that, but like that's what I want to do. Yeah, amen. Anyways, have a great night, guys. Love you so much. Bye-bye.